Spoke to Mohamed Ali with PressTV in Damascus about the impact of the U.S. presidential election on the situation in Syria.
President Bashar al-Assad was interviewed by a Serbian newspaper, and he was asked actually about which candidate he prefers to win, who is better. And President Bashar al-Assad at that time answered the question by saying the question is not who's better, it is the discussion in Syria is who is worse. And I quote President Bashar al-Assad saying, "No one is good for us. At the end of the day, what matters most is the policy that they adopt after they get elected." And this is a very important point that President Bashar al-Assad said in that interview, and also pointed out that the influence of different political movements after the elections will actually define the policy and determine the policy of the new president. And this is what's important. And because of that, the Syrian president said that he doesn't waste his time listening to what the presidential candidates say during their presidential elections. Also very strong and important comments made by President just last week regarding the same issue is that there is no good sign that the United States will have any dramatic change in its policy towards different international issues. For example, President Assad said he doesn't see any sign, a good sign, that there will be any fair policy or respect by the United States to international law or even the United Nations Charter. Those were the Syrian president's words just a week ago. However, there is no new official comment regarding the presidential elections or Trump winning the elections after the elections ended.
Let me talk to you a little bit about what we've heard from Donald Trump, and he's been very vague about articulating a clear Syria policy. But in October, late October, he was interviewed by Reuters. He said defeating the Islamic State was a higher priority than persuading Assad to step down. In one of the other debates, he said that while I don't like Assad at all, at least Assad's killing ISIS with Russia and Iran. That definitely is a sort of a change in tone from what you would see from the U.S. president now and Secretary Clinton, one would think.
Yes, exactly. The comments made by Trump during his presidential campaign is definitely much more positive, much more flexible than the comments made by Clinton regarding the crisis in Syria. He pointed out and indicated that he could actually work and seek to work with Russia, with President Putin, in a combined effort to fight ISIL.
Mohammed, a member of the Syrian parliament, said that, quote, "we must be optimistic, but cautiously optimistic," which I think we're hearing from you as well. But let me talk to you about the nuances of his foreign policy stances. We know that Russia and Iran have provided direct military support to the Assad government. You mentioned it seems as though there might be a warming with relations with Russia, with the United States, Donald Trump kind of tilting in that favor. But he's also indicated an opposition to the Iranian influence and Iran's nuclear deal. So with those nuances, what can we read into all of this?
I don't believe that this would complicate anything. The main and most important point is that there should be good relations and good dialogue between Russia and the United States in general regarding solving this crisis in Syria, because both countries are involved directly actually in this crisis. You have the United States supporting various armed groups on the ground here in Syria, and you have Russia backing the Syrian army against terrorism and the fight against terrorism. This is the main issue here. However, if we look at other regional players, you can see also that there is Turkey, there is Saudi Arabia, there is Qatar, there's also Jordan. All of those countries have played a role in this unrest, and they should be also part of any effort to end this unrest. There should be dialogue. There should be, at the end of the day, seriousness, a serious will to fight terrorism and end terrorism on the ground.
Mohamed Ali, thanks so much for joining us from Damascus.